Welcome, everyone. The City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City will meet in a regular meeting in City Hall Council Chambers located at 1716 West Main Street, Gun Barrel City, Texas, on Tuesday, August 26, 2025, at 6:30 p.m. Now call the meeting to order. Can everybody please stand for the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this night, these citizens, these board members, and all of our city employees and first responders. Give us wisdom, patience, and clarity as we go about our city's business. I'll always pray for those in harm's way. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. The pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I will now establish a quorum. Roll call from my left, please.
Burns here.
Evans here.
Jacobs here.
Burson here.
Edwards here.
We have a quorum. Citizens Communications. Pursuant to Texas Government Code, Section 551007, members of the public may speak on any topic. Comments are limited to 3 minutes, and no action may be taken by the council. Any response from a member of the City Council to non-agenda comments is limited to a statement of specific factual information, a recitation of existing policy, or direction to staff for follow-up. Our first speaker will be Amaris Faith.
Thank you. I'm Amaris Faith Pine Bloom. First, I want to thank Councilman Burson for what he's been doing in the budget cycle. He sees the writing on the wall. He understands the current path does not end well for the citizens. He isn't being negative. He's being a watchman on the wall. Councilwoman Burns understands this too. Let's listen. Or maybe not. Sorry, it's because I had my phone turned off. There we go.
I think that I understand in the long run, you're going to be right. Eventually, one day, whether it be in my lifetime or not, it's going to get there. And I'm saying it's going to be there. But what's going to have to happen, unfortunately, eventually, is when we can't do what we can't do. I mean, I'm hoping that, I don't know if they'll pass an ad valorem to make a difference. I don't know if the city will go bankrupt. I don't know.
My heart grieves for the people of this great city. They deserve honest discourse, humane treatment, and the same deep respect if they live out of a shopping cart or a $1 million lakefront home. You all know the truth. How you vote depends on whether truth leads or follows in your heart, whether you represent the whole or just these 4 walls, whether you seek the greater good or immediate gratification. I'm not judging you, but I am required to judge your actions, and tonight I'm watching and listening. We are not your customers. We're owners, and we deserve the respect that goes with that. Thank you.
Next speaker will be Gregory Sarasso.
Good evening, Council. My name is Gregory Sarasso, and I serve as the president of the Gun Barrel City Police Association. I'm here tonight as the voice for our officers, dispatchers, and animal control officers, dedicated public servants who put their lives and well-being on the line every day for this community. We can all agree that public safety must be a top priority for any city. I am calling on each of you tonight to ensure that public safety is treated as such in the proposed 2026 budget. Back in January, I met with City Manager and clearly laid out the most pressing need, a competitive pay structure, not just to attract qualified candidates, but to retain the professionals we already have. At that time, I was assured that restructuring the pay scale was a shared priority. Unfortunately, I do not see that commitment reflected in this budget. The police department is bleeding talent. Officers and dispatchers are leaving, higher paying positions in neighboring communities. We've become a revolving door. The average tenure at our agency is approximately 6 months. This month, we lost 3 employees, 2 officers and 1 dispatcher, to higher paying departments. This should be deeply concerning to every member of this council and citizens. To address this, I proposed a 5-year pay structure for officers and dispatchers, aligned with comparable agencies in size and call volume. We don't have to be the highest paying department, but we must be competitive. Let me give you some perspective. Last year, this council was told that first responders would receive a 1-step pay increase, but that was not true. We need to change the wording to reflect, if not October 1st, on their 1-year anniversary date of employment. Under the proposed budget, some of my officers will not receive any raise for nearly 2 years. Why would they stay under those conditions? I have a 3-year officer bringing home $1,200 biweekly who drives 45 minutes to serve this community, who can go and make $20,000 more by transferring closer to home. How can we expect them to stay? Our department is allocated $2,000 in training for 20 employees, which comes out to just $100 per person in comparison to other departments in this city with only 4 employees receiving higher total training budget. Built in 2000, our police department is in desperate need of updates and maintenance. We have $26,000 that was just placed back into the general fund for not buying laptops and going with a subscription instead. I am asking you, no, I am urging you to understand the gravity of this situation. We cannot kick the can down the road. It must be addressed in the 2026 budget. This current budget is not for our first responders, and the Gun Barrel City Police Association does not support the proposed budget. This budget is what we call defund the police. Thank you.
Moving on, our consent agenda will be 6A. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will not be separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. Consider approving the following reports: May 12th, 2025, special City Council meeting minutes, and July 22nd, 2025, regular meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as is.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Burns, second.
I have a motion and a second. No further discussion. Vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Person, yes.
Edwards, yes.
Consent agenda passes. 7A, quarterly department reports. A presentation of quarterly department reports, including court, building and code, police, dispatch, and animal control, will now take place. Our sponsor on this will be our city manager, Dr. Smith.
I will call up Judge Wallace to do her presentation.
Good evening. I will be going over a quarterly update for the months of May, June, and July of this year. As you can see on the violation activity statistics chart, each department is listed in detail with current cases filed. 68 animal control, 936 police, and 8 code cases. The total amount of cases filed this quarter was 1,012, and the total amount of cases that are filed year-to-date are 3,251. A 4.26% increase from last year's cases filed by the police department, code enforcement, and animal control. And then the average speeding charge was 16.28 over the limit.
Wow.
Moving on with some new information, disposed cases. Defendants appeared before the court with having satisfied their judgments. There are different types of judgments. The first is defensive driving. 79 individuals completed the course in order to dismiss their cases. 99 satisfied a deferred disposition by following court orders and had their cases dismissed. Ultimately, 908 cases were completely disposed without having any dismissal on their cases. They were paid, they either did community service, or they were given time served credit for being in jail. And then from October through July of this year, 2,972 cases were disposed through some sort of way. Magistrate duties are reported on this next slide. 284 show cause hearings were set. Defendants were to appear to show cause or explain why they defaulted on an order. Magistrates had 408 cases that were reviewed for warrants to be issued or that were brought before the judge for arraignment. And arraignments are done as soon as possible or over the weekends. And then lastly, $168,236.57 was collected from the court. This is including state court costs as well. So it's part of the city's cost, but also this state. And then that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions?
Council, questions for staff? No, thank you. Thank you, Judge. Next, Dr. Smith.
Next, we have Shannon Wiggins, our building official, doing building and code.
Good evening. Okay, so for building and code for May, June, and July, I gotta turn this? You can do it. Okay, so for code enforcement violations, for 3 months, had a total of 186 violations, with 83 of those being weed control. For code enforcement inspections, we had a total of 507. Again, with weed control carrying the most with the 189. Move over to building. Let's see. Permits issued, we had 200 permits issued, May, June, and July. What are you doing? She's doing it. Yeah, she got it. Going too fast? I didn't think so. For a total, sorry, you messed me up, Mickey. 200 permits issued for a total of $66,275.65. Building inspections, we had a total of 718, with 341 of those being building combo. 19 of those were short-term rentals, which that's picking up, being that Angie has got us with Avenue. 68 of those were residential service inspections, get power on. That is it, if there's not any questions.
Questions for Mr. Wiggins?
Good.
None. Thanks, Shannon. Next up will be Chief Stevens with our police, dispatch, and animal control.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for your time. Start off with, we're gonna, new hires for the police department. Got Officer Chloe Danmeyer, she's a recent graduate from the Navarro County Police Academy. In her short time with our agency, she's proven to be an exceptional hire. Officer Danmeyer is not only professional in her interactions, but she brings a positive attitude to her work every day. Danmeyer has also recently been awarded the Meritorious Conduct Medal for our department related to a suicidal subject that she dealt with. Also new hires, Officer Johnny Martinez has been a Texas Peace Officer for 4 years. He and his wife, AJ, who is pictured below, Well, I can't see that up there, and I can barely see this. I didn't bring my glasses. They relocated from South Texas to join our department. Officer Martinez hit the ground running. Also was Officer AJ Martinez, who's been a Texas Peace Officer for 3 years. Her area of interest is sexual assault investigations and juvenile issues. 911 and dispatch, we had May, total calls for service was 1,512. June was 1,446. July was 1,439. 911 calls for May was 533, 485 in June, and 542 in July. not going to go through each and every one of these numbers, but the police activity report, citations for May was 271, June was 194, and July was 201. Total warnings during that same time frame from May was 102, June 142, July 111. Property crimes, scoot down to it, May was 36, June was 22, July was 12. So as you can see with our officers out doing their job and being seen on the streets, our crimes are starting to reduce quite a bit. Next page. Animal control. Total calls for service in May was 35, 52 in June, and 32 in July. Total dogs impounded for May was 18, 13 in June, and 14 in July. Animal bite reports, we had 5 in May, 2 in June, and 2 in July. Crime stats, I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. We'd be here for a while, but in May, we had a total of 111. June, a total of 68. July, a total of 71. If any of the citizens want copies of any of this, I'll be happy to provide it to you. Arrests, had a total of 79 in May, 44 in June, and 49 in July. We had our LPR cameras, the flock license plate reader cameras that have been installed. Since they've been installed, there was 482 hot alerts. Officer hot list alerts was 164. Custom hot list alerts were at 56. And on August the 1st, Friday, August the 1st, there was 24,634 actual license plates that came through this city. Okay, so that's 24,000 different vehicles, not the same vehicle. That's right, next one. All right, so any questions?
Questions for staff?
I'd like a question. Can you go back to that flock one? Can you tell us what that means when you're saying that they're in the hot list?
A hot list is something that any agency can put in there. It's either somebody that's got warrants or a vehicle, a drug vehicle we're looking for, a suspect vehicle of some kind. License plate's been entered into the system for some reason which we're looking for, or another agency is looking for.
So those are ones that they actually hit on, that they found, that they were looking for a particular vehicle with that license plate and it came across our thing, is that what you're saying?
Yes, and some of those could have been, it was reported stolen 6 months ago and recovered, and it wasn't ever taken out of the state system by that agency, so it still shows up and gets those hits anytime it passes.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Thank you, Chief.
Okay, next slide. This last deal is our future Gunboro City Police Department Real-Time Crime Center. This is a short video from a real-time crime center that we went to in Atlanta, Georgia. Part of this has already been installed with the license plate readers. There's other aspects of that we're working on grants to implement. Hopefully the sound and everything will work on that.
No thanks. There you go. Right there.
Janet, can you please unmute the video?
Trouble, dude, they're in the car.
What happened? Are you okay? 911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, my car just got stolen.
Is anyone hurt?
We're good.
Call coming in. What type of vehicle is it?
It's a tan Challenger.
Help is on the way.
Thank you.
Possible carjacking in the Creekside Inn.
Copy that. Launching drone.
Police have been dispatched. Officers are currently...
Air 1 is en route.
3260, I'm en route.
Pulling the camera up from the hotel. I'm checking the recorded video. Arctic 1D units. The vehicle has black racing stripes. Suspect description is white male, red shirt, black hoodie.
Run that vehicle through freeform.
I got the plate. I'm adding it to the hot list now.
1580, en route from Birch and 9. ETA 1 minute.
That tag just hit on Maple and 5th.
Air 1 to units. I'm en route. 30 seconds out.
260, I'm rerouting.
Air 1 to units, I have visual on the suspect vehicle. Direction of travel southbound on Elm Street, approaching 2nd.
1580 to 260, I'm right behind you.
The suspect vehicle is pulling to park on Maple and 5th.
260 headed towards the east entrance.
Suspect vehicle has stopped at the east end of the park. Suspect is still in the vehicle.
Police, let me see your hands. Open the door. Step out of the vehicle. Face away from us. Back up. All right, on the ground. On the ground. All right, got you covered. 3261 in custody.
Questions? Chief, thanks for sharing that with us. 7B, consider and take action to approve authorization to issue requests for proposals for administrative services, RFP, as a disaster recovery management service provider to complete application and project implementation and requests for qualifications, RFQ, for engineering services for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Public Assistant, PA, Hazard Mitigation Assistance, HMA, funding administered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Texas Division of Emergency Management, and/or Texas Water Development Board. Our sponsor on this will be our City Manager, Dr. Smith.
Mayor and Council, this is one of the items we discussed at one of our recent budget workshops. I am going to ask John McElfish with Grant Works to come up and explain this a little better than I can. This is a partnership that Grant Works is working with us on, and what we're asking for is approval to put out the RFQ to find the partner for this. John?
Mayor, Council, thanks for having me. This is not a proposal for a grant. This is a program that FEMA's offering where the city can procure an administrator one time for a period of up to 5 years. And what it'll do is when disasters happen, there's federal funding available to repair your infrastructure, buy warning sirens, generators, lots of eligible activities. Each time one of these disasters happens, Janet and Angie have to issue requests for proposals to hire an administrator to administer that grant if the city's interested in that grant. It takes about a month to get that done. These windows are very short and the buckets of money are kind of small. What we want to do is we want to pre-position the city to not have to go through the procurement process, go straight to application. Basically, you're jumping to the front of the line. We're not the only ones that have this program. There's other administrators that do, but Grant Works is the one bringing it to you. As the disasters occur, whether it's a rain event, straight line winds, tornadoes, whatever it is, if there's a disaster declared by the county, I'll come see Angie. We'll talk about what the eligible activities are. She'll run it past you. If you're interested in applying for the grant, we'll go straight to application at that point, rather than spend the month to go through procurement that you would normally go through. We'll do it one time, it'll last for 5 years. And tonight, we just want your authorization to do that. Janet will have to issue RFPs. You'll have to hire an administrator to handle it for you, but you'll only do it once for 5 years. And I can answer any questions.
Questions? Council? Good? Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks.
Do I have a motion?
I move we approve authorization to issue requests for proposals for administrative services, RFP, as a disaster recovery management service provider to complete application and project implementation and requests for qualifications, RFQ, for engineering services for the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Public Assistance, PA, Hazard Mitigation Assistance, HMA, funding administered by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, Texas Division of Emergency Management, and/or Texas Water Development Board.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Byrne.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote from my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Person, yes.
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes. 7C, ordinance 2025-013, consider and take action to adopt ordinance number O-2025-013, adopting supplement 2-update number 1 to the Code of Ordinances. Our sponsor of this item will be Janet, our secretary. I will now read into the record the ordinance. Ordinance number O-2025-013, an ordinance enacting and adopting a supplement to the Code of Ordinances for the city of Gun Barrel City, Texas.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just going to use this mic. Is that okay? Ordinance O-2025-013 adopt supplement to update 1 to the Gun Barrel City Code of Ordinances. We have one supplement each year containing 2 updates. This update encompasses permanent ordinances adopted January through June of this year. And when you go to our online code, this is a snippet of what you would see for those that have never visited the site. It reflects the date it went live, in this case, July 22nd, and then also states the ordinance it was codified through. The ordinances highlighted here were filed for codification in this update. You'll notice not all ordinances were included in the filing. Local government code classifies permanent ordinances as those that establish general ongoing rules for the community and its governance. So some examples of temporary ordinances would be election ordinances or budget ordinances, and these are ones that change frequently. And so those are not filed for codification. And then we have special ordinances that address specific or short-term purposes rather than for the public as a whole. And so those type of ordinances are filed but not codified. Stay with me here. And then highlighted here are some examples of a few ordinances that were filed in this update but that were not codified. They are, however, included in a table of special ordinances, so we do have a tracking system for them. And all of these can be found on our website. These updates take place twice a year with MuniCode, who's our online publisher, and I'm happy to answer any questions regarding this ordinance or what I've presented tonight.
Questions for Ms. Dillard?
Well, Janet, does MuniCode usually write the ordinance for this? I don't remember seeing a MuniCode doing that.
No, ma'am, we've pretty much kept the same template since before I was here.
The city attorney approves the ordinance before it's approved by city council, reviews it if necessary. MuniCode is just a posting service, so.
Correct.
Further questions?
Rita, is that all you needed to ask? Is that all you needed to ask? Are you through? I want to ask a question. Why is this all of a sudden come up right before the agenda? That's what I don't understand. Why it's coming up, because the next item is on there. Why is this being put on is this coming from the charter?
We do this twice a year.
Yeah, so updates take place the end of the year and the middle of the year. So we're at that point.
Every year.
It happens this time every year.
But so this will be implemented into our city ordinances.
It's technically already online. It's live.
I know, but but was it on there before?
Was what on there before?
The deal about the permanent city manager shall be appointed for an indefinite term.
I think
Jay, we're on 7C.
Yeah,
We're on
But I
7C.
think for some reason, they are under the impression, based on information out there, that they think that this ordinance somehow is changing what's in the charter for her contract, and this has nothing to do with that whatsoever. If you go back to that slide that she showed, it showed what the ordinances were that are being codified. See, adopting this was rezoning 7.98, adopting policy, these things right here, nothing to do with the city manager's contract.
Nothing.
Okay, well, I just saw the papers that came in there, and that's what I didn't understand, so.
I think the confusion is in the packet, attachments just come together, and that was just an attachment for 7D. It had nothing to do with 7C.
Okay, I just saw on the bottom where it said supplement number 2, update 1, and that's what confused me.
Yeah, any section of the code that you download will have supplement to update 1 because that's what it is currently.
Okay. All right.
Any further questions? If none, I'll ask for a motion.
Move we consider to adopt ordinance number 2025-013, adopting supplement to update 1 to the Code of Ordinances.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Person, yes.
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes. 7D, consider and take action on a first amended employment agreement for the city manager. Do I have a motion on this?
Well, I'll make a motion to not approve her First Amendment employment agreement and bring it back to the binding agreement we have right now in place.
For what reason, though?
Well, we made a binding agreement 2 years ago, and we've never had a city manager to write their own employment agreement, and we, as a city council, is responsible for that part. Thank you. And I just think it's not right to have a city manager to write their employment agreement. It's our responsibility. And we went into a binding agreement, and that's what we need to stick with.
Yeah, I don't know who actually wrote the agreement, but I do know, huh?
I don't know.
Okay, but I do know.
City attorney.
The city attorney wrote, okay, because you're saying she wrote it, I didn't understand that. We were saying that she wrote her own agreement. But it is our duty to make sure that the information in there is accurate. And Rita, you were the mayor at the time who signed the employment agreement, and it goes against the charter. So my question is.
It really doesn't go against the charter. That has been in the charter. That's the main, I think that's what people think. But it has been in the charter from day one. We've always, in the past, not just now, but the council has always set terms for an employment agreement for any city manager we've had. And that is not, if you look on TML's website, when they're looking for a city manager, it says the same thing as our charter does, because no one knows how long that term is going to be when they hire a person. And that's the purpose of a council, to set the terms and of the whole agreement, just like we did 2 years ago. And y'all were in there with us. And nothing has changed in the charter.
Correct, but I think I have a copy of the charter here that was also provided to you under section 4.01.
I put a copy in there, yes.
Under the city manager, and number 3 says the city manager shall be appointed for a definite term, so it may be removed at the discretion of the city council by a simple majority plus 1. I mean, that, I'm just asking, that's the statement that is made in our charter. Are you saying that we shouldn't go with what the charter says?
I'm saying it's the city council's position to set the terms.
So you think we don't have to go by what the
Well,
charter
did
can?
we 2 years ago? No, we didn't.
That was not, I didn't make that contract. That was you who signed that
We
contract.
all were in executive session. We all agreed.
Well, I don't, again, I don't,
Yes, you
I
were.
was 2 years ago, yes, I was new. I do not recall if we said 2 years at that time, but if I did say 2 years at that time, someone should have said, no, that would be in violation of our charter.
not in
And
violation
then if
of
we're
the
in
charter.
violation of our charter, we should correct that.
Our charter does call for an indefinite term because it doesn't make sense to have to redo these contracts every 2 to 3 years. It's not fair to us, and it's not fair to an employee.
Well, I just disagree with you.
Can I interject on this, please, when I get a chance?
Go ahead. We have a motion on the floor.
We don't have a motion yet.
Yes, we do. She made a motion.
But we have, okay,
We do not have a second.
a second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. If I can have a discussion now? Go ahead, Councilman Burson.
I would just like to state that I talked to legal counsel, and it was presented to me that this is unprecedented. It's never been put in any of our contracts and all the managers, the city managers before. And I asked him, so why is it in there? He says, I don't know. That's what I was asked to put in there, and that's what was put in there. That's verbatim.
Well, I can't attest to what we've done in the past. I have absolutely no idea without going back and looking, but that past doesn't dictate the future, and I just.
It's never been done before. It's never had indefinite term put into the contract.
But that's what our charter says.
That's what our charter calls.
Well, I know, but that's giving you a description in the charter,
Sounds
giving you,
good.
putting it in there, but it says that you can set other stipulations in there, that you can put limits on there.
No, it says that we can, yeah, they may be removed at the discretion of the city council, and it tells me how to remove her, but it doesn't tell me that I can choose a different term than indefinite. It doesn't say that I can choose that I have the right to ignore the charter and do what I want to do. It doesn't say I can do that.
Well, I think the real question is, does it take 3 of us or 4 of us to approve this? And that's an underlying question.
I believe since the charter doesn't state it, then it's just the majority, not a
That's what we're trying to
supermajority.
get through.
I think the key word here, and you all need to stop with the employment agreement. The key word here is, and if we can please put our thinking caps on, is amended. This is an amendment. This is not the contract. This is an amendment. Okay, that is completely different from this does not in any way change the contract that you guys, this is an amendment to that contract. Okay, so can we keep that in mind, please? I don't know how else to state this.
Well, I just think that, I think there's some questions in there.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go, we have a motion and a second. So now we're going to take it for a vote, okay? And you need 3. Does everybody understand that? Okay,
I
so
need to rehear what that motion.
Mayor, you might have her repeat the motion.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
go ahead, Rita.
I'll make a motion to not approve the first amended employment agreement for the city manager.
Okay, we have a motion and a second by Councilman Burson. Vote from my left, please.
Burns, no.
Evans, yes?
Jacobs, no.
Person, yes.
Edwards, no.
Motion does not pass.
I move that we take a motion to approve the First Amendment agreement, employment agreement for the city manager.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Jacobs, second.
I have a motion and a second. Take a vote from my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, no?
Jacobs, yes.
Person, no.
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes.
By 3 people. 3.
7E, consider and take action if needed on continuation of first amended city manager employment agreement. Rita, this is your
I think it's
sponsored
already been
item.
decided by 3 councilmen.
Okay, thank you very much. 7F, consider and take action to approve an employment agreement with Charles Hauk for the EDC director's position. Our sponsor on this will be our city manager, Dr. Smith.
Mayor and council, you have met with and interviewed Mr. Howe. You met with him again last week to negotiate the terms of his contract. Mr. Hawk is here if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions from my perspective if I can help. We're excited to get him on board.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to consider and take action to approve employment agreement with Charles Hook for the EDC director position.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Jacobs, second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, no?
Jacobs, yes.
Person, no.
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes.
Welcome aboard, Charles.
Eight is the budget. I have had a request to table 8A, 8B, and 8C to have further discussion. Can I have a motion at this time?
I move that we table budget 8A, 8B, and 8C.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Jacobs, second. We clearly have some more work to do.
As part of the discussion, I will start this. I'm going to read a letter that was given to all of us You guys can read into it however you want to. But it says, "Good morning, council and mayor. First, thank you to Councilman Burson for standing up for conservative pro-citizen budget and for your courageous stand against the indefinite clause in the EDC director's contract. No contract should be indefinite." Just to clarify that, we went into executive session and Councilperson Burson decided to not exercise his constituents' best wishes and best practices to sit that out. He did not want to be a part of any of that. So one of the things that we did discuss was that. So this whole first part of this is actually a moot point. Second, I fired a warning shot across the bow last night, and now I'm taking the fight to the people. Those insane employee raises come at the expense of the people you swore to represent. Unacceptable, highlighted. Therefore, if you pass the budget with those 3 to 4% raises included, I will immediately start a petition drive to repeal. You lost the last petition drive last year. I will remind everybody, yes, we lost that. This is a person that comes up with a lot of pollution but no solution. She never helped and never came up with a solution, just wanted to make sure we stopped whatever it was. Well, that's outstanding in my book. And I have every confidence you'll lose this fight too. People may not show up for council meetings, but they'll sign a petition that comes to their door, especially when they realize y'all sold, this is great, y'all sold the farm out from us last year. Now, last year, let me remind everyone of the board people that were present. Mr. Burson, Mr. Foster, and Ms. Evans all voted for this budget last year that Maris Faith said, you all sold everybody out. You three sold everybody down the river. Okay, y'all feel good about that? Okay, point of order, point of order, point of order, point of order. I will continue. So they also voted for this. Ironic, he's courageous in this, but sold you out last time. Which is it? I just don't really understand. It's just, please, I'm all for people with suggestions, okay, and they don't like something, but let's come up with a solution. Just to complain, that's not how anything gets done. To finish, please rethink your approach and rein in the spending. Anyone who stands against this current budget will be marked a hero in my book. So now that we have a motion and a second, I will take a vote to table this. Vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Jay, yes.
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes. 8D, public hearing on proposed tax rate, which will be set at 0.
Mayor, would you like for me to make a couple comments? Even though we tabled
Yes.
the budget conversation for it to come back in September,
Yes, ma'am.
we are required to have a public hearing at one meeting on the tax rate and approve ordinance, Janet, I need a head nod, at the next meeting. So while we tabled the budget conversation, I believe the intent of council and yourself was still to have a proposed tax rate at 0. So we went ahead and left the public hearing for the tax rate on this agenda.
Any further discussion? Hearing is now closed. 9, economic development. 9A, I will now open a public hearing to discuss the EDC budget for the 2025-2026 fiscal year.
I will do my presentation on item 9B.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Any further discussion? If none, I will now close the public hearing. 9B, consider and take action to adopt resolution number R-2025-006, approving the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget for the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation. I will read into the record the resolution now. Resolution number R-2025-006, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, approving the 2026 fiscal year budget for the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation, A Type B Economic Development Corporation, and providing for an immediate effective date. Our sponsor on this will be our EDC, our current EDC Director, Dr. Smith.
Temporary EDC Director, Dr. Smith. The slide in front of you is kind of the highlights. The EDC approved this budget at their last meeting, their August meeting, with a vote of 5-2. The only change since that meeting is the budgeting of the salary for the director. I made them aware that council was in the process of negotiating. That number could change a bit. We made that amendment to the budget. The board was aware that we would be changing that number before council approved it. The EDC may need to amend this budget during the mid-year. So when Stephen Barnett and I worked on the budget and presented it to Roy and Keith and the board, the president and vice president of the board and the rest of the board, we explained to them we really mimicked last year's board. The board as a whole and the EDC has been very conservative over the last 2 years. As you all know, we just hired a new director who's very gung-ho to go out and start doing recruiting. And so we've been very conservative to ensure when we got ready to do that recruiting and that recruitment to businesses to come here, we were prepared for that and we had the money in the bank to do that. And we do have that. The EDC is in very good condition. Approximately $2.3 million in the bank and in savings accounts, which draw interest. It draws a significant amount of interest every month. This allows the EDC, should we have a special incentive program? I had a meeting with a business this week that's ready, gung-ho and ready, but they're going to have a large business request to partner, for us to partner with them. So this budget is created around predicted income for the 2026 fiscal year, which is October 1st of 2025 to September the 31st of 2026. There was the minor change. As of June 30th of 2025, the GBC EDC has a net income of $438,000 for fiscal year 2025, just to give an example of how conservative we've been. So what you see there at the bottom, the full budget was attached in your packet. What you see there at the bottom is 22 actual, 23 actual, 24 actual, what the 25 budget was, and what the 2026 budget is. And that, remember that their income and sales tax is based on the city's income and sales tax, and it's a portion of that. So a portion of the sales tax goes to the EDC, a portion of the sales tax goes to streets for street, Mickey left me, maintenance and repair, so things like Harbor Point. And so that's that budget. I fully expect when Charles gets his feet on the ground for him to present an amendment, maybe even as early as December to the EDC. But we needed to start the year on October 1st with a budget, so that is where we are. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions for Dr. Smith? If none, I will ask for a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution number R-2025-006, approving the 2025-2026 fiscal year budget for the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Edwards, second.
I have a motion and a second. If no further discussion, vote for my left, please.
Burns, yes.
Evans, yes.
Jacobs, yes.
Person, yes?
Edwards, yes.
Motion passes. 9C, the first reading of resolution number R-2025-007, approving a potential performance agreement by and between the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation and D&D Main Street Bar and Grill, LLC, for the installation of a new digital sign not to exceed $8,000. I will read into the record the resolution number R-7, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Gun Barrel City, Texas, approving a potential performance agreement by and between the Gun Barrel City Economic Development Corporation and D&D Main Street Bar and Grill, LLC, a Texas corporation authorized pursuant to Sections 501.103 and 505.158 of the Texas Local Government Code, and providing for an immediate effective date. Our sponsor on this item will be, our temporary EDC Director, Dr. Smith.
Nobody's more ready for Charles than me. Next slide, please, Janet. So D&D Main Street Bar and Grill They are at the corner of 198 and 334. They have applied for and been approved by the EDC for a small business incentive reimbursement grant. It is Sharon Tucker and Danny Perkins. Sharon, I was like, I don't see Danny. He was at the last meeting. So Sharon is here if you all have questions. This is a reimbursement grant based on an exterior improvement to their facility. The total cost of the project is $22,926. They are purchasing an LED sign from DCI. The specs on that sign were attached to the draft resolution in your packet. If you've never seen one of these signs, this company is top-notch and provides signs around the country and around the world, have even done the Olympics. So they are top-notch business to work with. The board approved a recommendation of the subcommittee, which was to provide an exterior incentive reimbursement to the business owner of $8,000. Main Street Bar and Grill will install the sign, pay for the sign, provide us the check. The EDC will then reimburse Main Street Bar and Grill $8,000 of their cost. The property owners, the business owners did agree to that. There was some negotiation at the meeting, but that was how the subcommittee really looked at return on investment and how long would it take us to get that $8,000 back. And so that's what they did. Next, so we have received permission to move forward from, or approval to move forward from the EDC. If we receive approval to move forward, we must publish and wait 60 days, which is why there is not a performance agreement attached to this. We're still taking public input on that. Provided tonight there's no additional questions, the attorney for the EDC, Jeff Moore, will ask him to draft the performance agreement, put in all the caveats on how many employees they have to maintain and such, along with the timeline for the project and all of those things. The performance agreement will be considered by the EDC and City Council at your September meetings. And then hopefully funding can be provided mid-October, and that's based on our 60-day published requirement. So Stephen has put this into the paper, so it has been published. So now we have to wait the 60-day timeline. So this just helps us map that out. Sharon is here if you have questions, and I'm happy to answer any questions I may have. On the exhibit of the resolution, because we don't have the performance agreement to attach, these same specifics are attached as Exhibit A. At the next meeting, you will have a new resolution and you will have a performance agreement attached as Exhibit A.
Questions for Dr. Smith or Sharon?
Appreciate you being here, Sharon.
Sharon, thank you for coming. If that is it, number 10, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Need a motion.
I thought you said it was a reading.
First
You do not
reading.
have to just first reading. Okay, sorry, Mayor.
They said
Okay.
first reading, is that right?
Y'all got sidetracked. Yes, that's
Okay.
right. Sorry.
This meeting is now adjourned.